Hello, it's Suen's here, and we're all back with another video. What are we doing today?
So very recently, our favorite Secretary General, Fikile Mbalula, he announced that the ANC government is planning to build a state-owned bank.
I saw that.
He announced that on Twitter before the ANC or the government itself could announce it. You know, Fikile doesn't like to keep quiet about things.
Yeah.
So let's just check out this quick clip that will give context about how this bank will work and how everything will come together.
Yeah.
And then you tell me what you think about it.
Okay.
So what are your thoughts?
My first thought is like, hell no. Hell no. No. No, 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 no. That's my first and only thought. No way. There's no ways I'm gonna put my money in that bank.
As you just read there, like the government is planning to take Postbank, which was like
It was already existing,
a subsidiary
like
bank, or basically a savings facility for post office,
Yes.
and make it into a fully fledged bank where you're able to transact and take out
other banks
loans
now.
and credit transactions, all that stuff.
Like, I love the concept of the government owning, but not this government. No, like I like that because whether the government is supposed to be for the people, like other banks are like privately owned and making money, profits is number one for them. So they don't really care about the people as much.
So the reason why this is good on paper, but in practice it's not, like you just said, our government has proven not to be
Trustworthy.
and reliable in terms of running state-owned entities.
Yes.
For example, SAA. SAA
Yes.
was an airline owned by the state,
Yes.
and they've been operating at a loss for years now.
Money has been injected left, right, and center.
They've been operating at a loss for years now, billions of rands, constant bailouts, and eventually they even had to sell the airline because they couldn't maintain keeping the airline. Another good example as well, Eskom operating at a loss for years now as well. Billions of rands, constant bailouts,
Coal.
load shedding constantly. So even the post office where this bank comes from, the post office in itself,
Yeah.
post office is barely functional. Things are not working.
Yes.
The services there are very bad.
Not being kept.
compared to like more private mailing
Yes,
services
mailing
like Postnet and those ones like that. If you compare post office to Postnet, the difference in quality and service and service delivery there is astounding. Like it's not even comparable.
Yeah.
So considering all of that, why would it be a good idea for
Why
the
would
same
it
government to own
a bank that holds our money, that holds our
why would that be a
hard-earned
good idea?
cash? What facility of the government or state-owned facility is functioning now like immaculately that we can be like, that gives us the assurance that our money is safe?
So the only benefit that I can think of right now in my head to having a state-owned bank is like for people to get better interest rates when applying for credit, when applying for loans, because the bank is supposed to be cheaper than the private banks.
Yep.
It's supposed to be. And much like Eskom was a good idea. It was the cheapest energy producer in the world at some point. It was so bad that competitors couldn't enter the space because it was so cheap.
Yeah.
It just didn't make sense.
Now look.
Now look at Eskom. Now Eskom is running at a loss of billions. It's becoming more and more expensive to maintain, and electricity production is becoming more and more expensive. So, in theory, a state-owned bank would help those that cannot afford to take loans from private banks. But considering the government that we have, it's not a good idea at all. Many people see this as another like money laundering scheme for the government.
Of course.
And considering we just had this recent controversy with rand manipulation, and how the private banks manipulated the rand, and there was no consequences for them. Imagine a state-owned bank.
A state-owned bank. What consequences gonna be?
when there's fraudulent activity happening, and there's going to be no consequences for those people. So, all in all, bank at your own risk. Bank at your own risk, like
your hard-earned cash. You wanted your
and the banking sector. The banking sector is so competitive. Like there's very few. Like all segments are covered for in the banking sector. Like from extremely poor to like moderately poor to all the sectors. All the tax brackets are catered for. Again, just to put this into context, if you've ever been to any Department of Home Affairs is most famously known for this. If you've ever been to Home Affairs, right, you need to literally set aside a day, the whole day. You need to set aside the whole day whenever you go to
be at Home Affairs, and they don't want to be electronic about things that they're supposed to be electronic about, the ones that they are electronic about, useless.
Like to do anything, you need to set aside a day. To do the UIF, you need to put aside hours of your day.
Yep.
To go to the Department of Transport, you need to set aside hours of your day.
And they'll still send you back to come back. We can only help people until that one. Then you must come back. Then
and just look at the banking sector now. How everything has been digitized. Most of the banks now use apps. Some banks are even app only. You don't even need to go to the branch
they gonna
anymore like that.
Start and they
so
on
now,
that level.
When you look at government facilities, which government facility allows you to use an app? Which one?
And which app is actually efficient if they have one?
So just all these optics, the banking experience will probably be very bad. You'll probably need to set aside hours of your day just to go do something at that bank. Looking at all the other departments.
You back so many years in terms of banking. Like other banking companies have moved. Like there
will be no apps.
No apps.
It's just going to be long queues. Yeah, it's if you want more of Home Affairs, then.
And honestly, if they say we're wrong about what we're saying, then show us proof. Point somewhere where you can give us that confidence that things won't be like that.
And even if you have like a crisis, like let's say your money disappears,
or like fraud.
You call the call center, and most of the time you won't be able to get
government call center
to help you. So there's so many things that could just go wrong with this bank, and again, bank at your own risk.
At your own risk.
If you rather choose banking with the state-owned bank over banks that have been proven, that have good service delivery, that have
worked for years for their reputation, that are in. They understand. Yes, I was going to say that competition as well, and rules of competition, and you know how to handle yourself. What do they know?
So it's really not a good idea, and I feel sorry for the people who gonna legitimately think of banking with this.
It's gonna be the pro ANC people. You're gonna see them. Yeah. Then they're gonna say, look, our president is working, our government is working, making banks for us.
You know what would be sad? If you're banking at this bank, right, and you put your hard-earned money into it, and a lot of your money is sitting in a bank account somewhere in this bank, and then the bank is running at a loss.
Yeah.
It's running at such a big loss that the government has to bail the bank out. So you basically will be paying the bank to keep your money liquid for you to use it. Because you as a taxpayer, you're already paying taxes to the government.
Yes.
And then the government will use that same tax to bail out the bank and keep you from using the money that you deposited.
They're not putting anything into it. They're not losing anything out of it. It's sad. You're going to be keeping that bank operational. If it fails because of their poor government, you also pay for that with your money.
So it's just gonna be. It just sounds like a disaster.
Yo.
Sounds like a disaster.
I know it's a disaster. a disaster. I don't even know where they get the audacity to even do this.
Any state-owned entity you can think of right now is
It's horrible. It's not
at a loss.
Yes. Now you want our money. Now you want our hard-earned money. Like all of it. You already taking a huge chunk and portion of it. You know, chowing it as you please.
A very good example as well. The government recently reopened some process train train routes, train stations.
Yeah.
And everybody was happy that you'll be able to go to Cape Town for like 30 rand,
Yes.
300 rand or something like that. A very small amount to travel to Cape Town with using
Where
the train.
is that?
Literally in less than 7 days, they had to close down that route because there was theft, there was crime. So the train couldn't make it from Joburg to Cape Town because halfway along the line, load shedding was happening, stopping the trains from being operational.
Oh my god!
The tracks weren't well maintained. So
wait, what? All of this now?
Yes. One day, you remember that time when they recently just opened Prasa again?
Like now, yesterday, basically.
Within that same week, they had to stop that route because they couldn't make it to Cape.
Not well maintained, not
load shedding. So they couldn't make the trip from Joburg to Cape Town because of all
now
these
you want
things.
our money. You want our money that we work for.
So the people that paid for that train route had to take a bus halfway through and continue their journey on to Cape Town like that because the train couldn't make it to Cape Town. So that's a very recent example of what happens when the state tries to do something and fails miserably. So now they're going to do the same with your money. And once things go south there will be nothing you can do about it.
There'll be nothing.
And then you have no recourse. You have
nothing. They'll just be investigating it for years and they'll just make documentaries.
So yeah, you guys let us know what you think about this whole situation.
Yeah, let us know.
Don't forget to like, subscribe.
And keep watching. Goodbye.
We'll check you guys in the next one.